Hello, we're back. It was a couple days, apologies. Um, a friend wanted to hang out, so I did. But we're back at this, and yeah, looking forward to see what's, new. Also, finally back on the actual schedule of 7, so as long as, L Wi-Fi keeps up, then we'll be cool. Alrighty, so, yeah. Alright, I guess we'll get some ammonia. We'll try and actually do the main mission just a little bit, obviously. But, we know that to the right of us, that's the strike. So it's not actually far from our building. So yeah, after we inspect the body better with, ammonia, then we'll see what is in store. Alright,
Hello again, officer. How are things?
still have the salts, think use some.
Sure, I'm done with them.
Takes a small capsule out of her breast pocket and hands it to you.
Go easy on that stuff. It gave me a terrible headache.
Have to run. Yep. Oh, there's a roof. Hmm. Um, I guess I'm like, we're cool now?
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to
How do I use the smelling salts? Oh, it shows me what's done and what isn't. Okay. Oh yeah. Ah. I can
It's
interact with this.
just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
Look at all the content.
Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
This mug is an example of prejudice. I'm going to use an example of what not to do. Clean up places in the face of every merchant and find them, tell them that this is your inane ideology. The mug will be useful. In denouncing it, I could earn political capital to match my badass hustling. The mug didn't belong in the trash. It was just a funny mug. Can anyone laugh anymore? Ah. And all this is about political stuff. Honestly, it is just a moog.
Understood. You're that kind of detective. Why don't you get back to your case?
Alright, that's funny. Alright. How the fuck do I use you? Alright, gonna quick save before anything, and then I'm gonna try interacting with the body.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below, the ammonia only makes it worse. The combination forces tears out of your ducts. You manage to keep it in once. The second time, not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
Oh, it didn't help at all. Nor does the wind right now.
Nor does the wind right now.
You feel the lieutenant pat your back rhythmically.
I've seen strong men turn themselves inside out for hours. You are facing tough odds here. Alcohol withdrawal makes it considerably harder.
Why can't I keep it in if I've been a cop my whole life? This is bullshit. I don't want to be that. Anyway, I don't want to be a cop. Can we do anything else? I think I want to solve something else right now. Do it without me. I just can't keep it in.
I've seen captains puke their guts out. It never gets easier. You never get used to the smell. Every Monday is cadaver day. Throw up, investigate. Throw up, initial autopsy. Throw up, baguette.
Pat your back again.
Then drive to the station. Maybe throw up on the way there if you didn't bag the thing tight enough.
You seem to be fine.
I think I've lost my sense of smell.
There's a pause.
A white lie.
Not being hungover helps too. No. This is a two-man assignment because it needs 2 officers to complete. I need your help.
Luke else's hand looks you in the eye.
You need to get your shit together.
Okay.
We should go talk to the locals. Find something else to do while the wind changes. It's pretty bad right now.
It's snowing too. This is it's actual weather mechanics. It's cool.
Give it half an hour. Get yourself together. Then come back and have another go.
Alright.
Fuck, does Kuno care? Right, Pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. Fuck do you want with it?
Dead clothes. Where'd you? Were you the ones that put it in the container?
Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno. Shoot that shit at Kuno, dumpster diver.
Ladder, ever climb it?
Look at that fucking shit. You're trying to get Kuno killed.
Okay, so
Fuck does Kuno know? Kuno's not a fucking acrobat.
Lieutenant
The
takes a quick
lieutenant
note.
takes a quick note in his notebook.
It's a trap, Kuno! Don't climb it, Kuno!
There's a stack of Edomite back there.
That's just some shit roofing gimps left behind. Lazy dinks.
He's hiding something.
Pig, if Kuno was hiding something, it would be hidden.
He says with exaggerated confidence.
But it is not hidden, is it, sire? You picked up on it. You should examine the pile of roofing material again.
Wasn't that greenhouse over there?
Dunno. Kiptas gardener used to work there.
Kipt is a pejorative term used to describe people of South Seminese or Areopagitic descent. It used to be a common first name among the Areopagites of Ilmaran. Not so much anymore.
Oh, the guy used to work there?
Yeah, that's what Kuno said. She couldn't handle the heat, so she took off. Kuno can take it. Shit's nothing to Kuno.
You mean the young woman by the William Eggs, the gardener?
Look, Kuno doesn't explain shit. Kuno just says shit.
He looks you in the eye and nods his agreement with himself.
Yeah, her. What was she doing in the greenhouse in March anyway? Fish is sometimes used to fertilize the soil a few weeks before planting something. Maybe she was preparing the garden beds.
I should ask her about that.
Yes, it seems suspicious. You don't like things being like that. Suspicious.
We might have questions later for now. Let's talk about something else.
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit.
I keep throwing up and I can't investigate the body at all.
Yeah, like a fucking volcano. Yeah. Fucking pathetic.
You were lucky you didn't die there.
Nice. You got advice for me? I mean, you're obviously handling it quite well.
Yeah. Kuno's got some advice for you.
Looks who's left and right and leans towards you.
What are you? Like 80, right? Maybe you should stop embarrassing yourself in front of a fucking kid.
Perhaps you could compress this negative energy and turn it into some sort of a Kuno-fied non-vomiter.
Kuno-fied non-vomiter, here I come.
That's right. Turn your weaknesses into conceptual strengths. Try it again now.
I'm off.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Alright. You click and complete shift compressor thought. Ah, okay. Alright, alright, let's try it again, I guess. Oh, yeah, this. Temporary reach. Research time is 30 minutes. Alright, so let that do its thing, and then we'll come back to it and then try it. Alright, so yeah, this thing.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material.
Ah, boy. Don't fail.
An
Don't fail.
inconspicuous pile of the roof. Because it's nice and
Motherfucker!
orderly. Well, rhythmic pattern calms your mind.
Kuno, what the hell did you leave back here, dog? As I said, I'm not going to reload a save just to do it. Even though, yeah, I should have succeeded. No, I don't want the game to be like, you know, Fallout, where you can just save spam shit. It's just stupid. So, you know, if you succeed, you succeed. If you don't, you don't. You know, life is what it is. Alrighty, actually, before we talk, I want to examine that so it's no longer in my menu. Hello. Close for winter. Please use main entrance. Ah. It's March. Alright.
I can't believe it's snowing again.
Everyone watches the falling snow on the sides.
It felt like springtime just a few days ago.
Tell me, what exactly are you doing in the greenhouse? In March?
Well,
She
this might be the last snow we get. At least I hope so. Snow has nutrients in it. Helps everything green up in the spring. At least that's what my grandma always told me.
Smell side, shall we?
Yes, think about the cute grandma, not the weird snow.
Your grandma's a bit too much. What inches? Squint your eyes and look at her intently. 83%. Let's go!
Stop
Woo!
looking at her. Look around. What do you see?
Entrance to the yard.
That's right. And the canal, the bookstore, the harbor gates. This is a great vantage point for keeping an eye on you.
You by any chance keeping an eye on us?
No, of course not. I don't understand what this is about.
She looks towards the yard and her expression clears.
The kid did this, right? The red-haired rat? Can't say a sentence without or kipped. He's always giving me trouble.
I was talking to him, yes.
Maybe you shouldn't be. I mean, you do your job, but that kid is beyond help. And he certainly won't help you.
She shakes her head.
You've been resting here for quite a while, haven't you?
Lieutenant intervenes, looking at her intently.
Yes, I'm tired.
I understand. The RCM isn't welcome here, and the locals want to keep an eye on us.
There's silence, the smallest of smiles.
That's okay, Miss. Do what you have to do. I
Lieutenant
think
nods.
we're done here. Let's go.
Alright. Good to know. Level up time. Why not some empathy, I guess? Alrighty. Well, I guess we also got time to wait.
Welcome to Rivachol.
Racist lorry driver. Welcome to Rivachol. Announces their roadman. Their mark is addressed to you. It's addressed to the lieutenant. Why are you addressing my partner like that? Oh, it isn't addressed to me. It's addressed to your lieutenant.
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago. Every school of thought and government has failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you.
It's men like you who keep Rivachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of the post-war limbo.
What he means is, fixation on the Rivacholian nation makes it harder for Rivachol to actually attain self-determination.
So we are in limbo.
Oh, come on, man. I just said welcome to Rivachol. It's a lorry driver thing.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself and behave. But you see, I'm an officer of the RCN. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would advise you to remember that.
Silence. The air between them becomes tense.
Whew.
Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
Hey, Kim, I've got your back, gives Lieutenant a punch in the shoulder. I think we've all learned something here. Smile at them. Now that we've said those, we have a couple questions. Yeah, why not?
You two make a cute couple. You know that?
William spits. That was settled. We have a couple questions.
Whatever you say, officers.
Who is impassively, cigarette smoldering between his
He
fingers.
smells of heavy motor oils, and his breath of high tar content cigarettes, probably Astra Whites.
Oh, it's mug in the trash, old man. Yours?
Oh man, that's great. Look at that guy go. Haven't seen anything that funny in a while.
Is it yours?
God, man. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine.
He doesn't live in Martinez.
What are you hauling?
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation.
How long has this been going on?
The strike? Oh, they've been at it for a while. A month, 2 months maybe. But this here is just the last week or so.
What kind of cargo are we supposed to pick up?
Apples.
Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had something to hide.
Sounds like a cover story to me.
Look, as detective, I come from a long line of lorrymen. We got ancient rights and privileges.
He loses patience for explaining it.
Oh, I'm here to pick up a load of fucking apples, man. Just regular Koiko picked apples.
Koiko may be another derogative. For a person from Grad, we think.
Oh, so the apples in Garad?
Yep, it's one of their main exports. They grow them down South Yekokata. A beautiful place. Got great scenic vistas.
In fact, Yekokata is a desolate wasteland whose name literally translates to Zone of Ecological Catastrophe.
Wow.
It features no scenic vistas and supports virtually no plant or animal life.
Wow. Yakota is not in the south, and they definitely do not grow apples there.
Yeah? Says who?
It's literally in the name. Zone of Ecological Catastrophe.
Then, I guess they grow apples somewhere else. You can never really tell with those Koikos. They're everywhere, except their own homes.
Keep saying Koikos. What does that mean?
He means the people living in Grad.
Yeah, you know, Gradniks, Gradvolk. Those degenerates from Grad.
Okay, but why the word Koiko?
Cause that's what they're all called. Koiko Pichik, Loslav Koiko, Koikovic someone. Low self-esteem those guys have. Mind you, they look Occidental, but they're not really like us.
Okay, so it's an ethnic slur.
Hey, if the name and description fit by the very grace of nature, who am I to say otherwise?
So can I see the apples?
Did you miss the part where I said they aren't here yet? Besides, even if I did have some, I wouldn't go putting my nose in them, huh?
Look at you with the strange glint in his eyes.
Relax. You've got all you can get here. He probably doesn't even know what he's hauling, even if it is something unsavory. So he'd remain unaccountable.
So what's the argument all about?
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with a coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
Oh, so you're just racist. Makes sense. Can't really remember what that means. Please explain. So let's talk about something else.
Suit yourself, officer. Hide your face in the sand if you so wish.
Something about the rights and privileges of lorrymen?
Oh yeah, they're a big deal. My great-grandfather was a carter. Had a royal license and everything. We've tried to hold on to our privileges.
Hold on. What's a carter?
Someone with a cart. What did you think it was? That's how deep into history our thing reaches. Before machines.
And that's a privilege?
Sure fucking is. We have a guild and everything, huh? Very ancient. Very prestigious.
So you're in a carter's guild?
Goddamn right. They've been trying to fuck us out of our heritage in the name of profit. But when they try to replace us, they'll regret it. Huh. Trusting street thugs with their goods is going to fuck them right up the ass. Mark my words. Generations of practice and no laughing matter.
Alright. Jump Jams, a popular music mag. The Glassy magazine, most able-bodied men. This is the issue the host. Critic sick. What's in there? Oh, it's a little store. Yellow roses, dozens of them. Tulips too. Melancholy pop song plays on the radio.
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big Fritta slogan on the back. The packages are small, discreet, sloppily stacked, making them easier to take unnoticed. No need to worry about knocking over a display.
What's that? Point to the raincoat.
What is what? it's a raincoat. If you want to buy one, then it's only 4 real.
She taps on the glass counter, raincoat basically waits
Her
for-
attention is drawn to the raincoats. Stealing one undetected will now be more difficult.
Yeah.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo. Their logo is the bloodless rose, pure white, untouched by harm.
Just ask me if you need anything from Saint Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma.
What are those products do?
I don't know. Let's see. Nosafed is a nasal spray. Duramine is a really good painkiller. Magnesium is a dietary supplement. Hypnogamma is...
She stops.
I don't really know what Hypnogamma is. I guess it makes you feel less shit. It's recommended to use after lots of partying, studying, or exercising.
Be a little more specific?
No. Sorry. I'm not like a doctor or anything.
Who's Saint Baptiste?
Saint Baptiste. You know, the pharmaceuticals company. Saint Baptiste Pharmaceuticals. The one that sells meds out of Saint Baptiste. That one. There.
She is right. Saint Baptiste, the company, derives its name from Saint Baptiste, the city. Itself so named because that's what it is. A rare case where that really is the full etymological history. As far as almost anyone knows, at least.
Do you have any ammonia?
Yeah, there's like an ampule somewhere.
She doesn't have there. Or something like that. So I could buy stuff. Only have 1.85 reals, so I'm cool.
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
Oh, that's the tear machine.
Yeah, but what is it?
It's a machine for tear. You know, you find tear outside, like bottles or whatever, and put it in the machine, then it gives you money.
Oh, I see. How do I pick up a tire from tire machine?
You need a bag, I guess. We used to have some, but we gave them all out, so...
Sure, exactly.
Feel free to use it if you find a bag, though. I'm sure there are some out there, somewhere.
A colourful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles line the shop wall, inviting you closer. The bottles wink at you in the light. The smokes too glitter in their wrapping. It's like looking into a kind of heaven. Your knees are weak. There, in that dark green glass, all in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer, alcohol, love, alcohol.
This is not a good place for a recovering addict.
Guess not, no.
With all the goods behind her, then just...
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health, but I guess you already know that.
Can you tell me about all these products?
The Pale Age vodka is special, I guess. It's stored in pale for a couple of years, which makes it super expensive and super strong.
It's pale.
You know.
Shucks, I'm interested in explaining it further. Okay, I will consume this stuff due to my body.
I mean, I already said it'd hurt you. I don't know what else they do.
Sure. It's only under the counter vices?
No, Frit only sells legal drugs, like the law says.
Ooh, I'm out of here.
Volumetric ship compressor.
There we go.
Bizarre scientific news from Revachol West today, where a police officer's shit has been observed at a pressure of around 495 gigadecimals. These metallic hydrogen levels of shit togetherness were thought to exist only at the center of collapsing stars, not law officials. It remains to be seen how long the shit singularity lasts.
Yeah. Nice. This one's getting close to done.
Welcome to Frit. Feel free to look around or something. Everything is out on the shelves.
What's that magazine she's reading?
Hold on. What is this Frit?
I don't know. Frit?
Folks, look at what is
a 7
Frit.
to 11 grocery store.
7-Eleven? Why is it written 3
I
T's?
think they think that the extra T makes it funkier. It doesn't.
The story goes that normal Fritta, with 2 T's, a men's workwear shop in Vredefort, was already taken. So when Fritta Retail Inc. grew into a multinational corporation, they had to add an extra letter to avoid trademark infringement.
If I'm correct, it actually doesn't work at all with trademark. If I'm correct, like actually straight up just changing a letter or anything like that, does not affect copyright. You're still technically infringing. Anyway, who's this magazine?
You mean
reading?
this?
The cover, boasting a colorful photo of 2 girls kissing.
This is Pop Stars. It's got, like, famous people in it. It's not for sale.
Looks like it also has something called Police de la Mode, featured on page 34. This speaks to you.
What is this fashion police feature? Point at the cover.
It's where they rate different outfits famous people wear. It's kind of funny. They're kind of mean. It's about who's the most stylish.
Who's the numero uno guy in there right now? Does he look like this? Point your hat. Well, your hat would take the price. So who's the most stylish there? It can't be anyone from here.
Benita. She's a model. Usually it's a model. Or a singer-songwriter. Or a model.
We are not the fashion police. We're the real police.
Got some questions.
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but...
What's on the magazine? Does we have a warehouse in the back of the Whirling and Rags?
A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care what Frit does.
Come on, just give me something to work with here.
She looks up from under her brow.
Fine. Frit doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay?
Turning back to her magazine without waiting for you to respond. Can you tell me anything about the dead body?
I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so...
How long is it? What do you think happened?
I don't know.
No need to worry. It's just standard procedure for us to ask around. If you hear anything, let us know, okay?
Okay.
Congratulations. How long has it been there?
I don't know, really long.
Did the man who died?
Not really.
Not really. Does it mean you knew him a little?
No. I didn't know him at all.
Thanks for the help. Can you tell me anything about this reality we're in?
Reality? You mean, what reality? Economic reality, or...?
She is like a student unexpectedly called upon by a teacher. Can she answer the classroom question?
No, I mean the physical reality.
I don't know. What about it?
Where are
We're
we?
in Frit?
I mean, where are we on the larger
As
scale?
mankind, or as a nation, or...
What will her essay prompt be?
Like, where in the world?
We're in Revachol, like, on the Insulindian Isola. You're
Okay.
welcome.
What time is it?
I don't know. Look at the clock. It's right behind you on the wall.
The clock shows the time at 10:09. The hands seem to be still. It's apparent the clock doesn't work.
What's our
When
revolution?
ordinary people take over the government and demands democracy.
What about the one we had here in
Yeah,
Revachol?
it happened like 50 years ago or so. Sorry, I'm not very good at this. At history, I mean.
Coalition, what's that? Someone told me there was one.
Our government? Or do you mean something else? Sorry, I really need to finish this article.
Chop something with you. I don't bother with this nonsense anymore.
Cool.
Hooray! Autosave, nice. Alright, back to the dead body, and hopefully our new, I guess perk thing will help us resist the dead body. Hopefully. If it doesn't, who baby? Low on morale? Points into volatile. Okay. You hear that? It's safely working in there. Work, work, work. 3 T's. How idiomatic. Alrighty. Alright.
There he still is, looking
Ooh,
right
83.
through you with his white.
Oh, there's no way!
Again, the corpse laughs at you, pus dripping from its mouth. You will never be able to hold it in. It's always too much.
That sucks.
Every time it happens, it gets worse and worse. There's nothing more to throw up now. All that's left is crying and convulsing dryly at the same time.
Ow. Failed again. How is it possible? I could swim.
I'm at a loss as well. I could swear your shit was together, detective.
Sometimes even that is not enough. Life is unfair.
I don't know.
Officer, you just need to be stronger. Learn to keep it in long enough for us to work. There's nothing else to do.
Relax. It's okay if you don't make it today. The bloated corpse isn't going anywhere.
So I just have to wait a while. Okay, well, I lost at 83%. Woo! My luck is great. I lost a 72%, which was behind that thing for Kuno. And that, an 80. I guess we're continuing on doing other stuff for now. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. How's that? I mean, alright.
Scab?
Call me mañana. Asks the man with jelly eyes, tilting his head.
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
What exactly is a scab?
A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Everybody loses.
Doesn't like them much?
Gotta be bloody stupid or freaking evil to scab. Or I guess, scared maybe. But scared of what? Of who?
He looks at the mask, squinting his eyes, is trying to ascertain what they're scared of.
Personally, I'd rather beg than scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something.
We tried talking to them?
We've explained the matters, but they don't listen. This lot would be reasonable and go home if the big guy wasn't riling them up all the time.
By the way, his name means... stupidity of accidentally ripping out my mic. His name means call me tomorrow. It's Spanglish. I don't know why. Anyway. I'm not a scab, I'm a cop. Proceed.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money.
He chuckles, then realizes.
Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the Wild North? Come to see the strife?
Come to Martinez investigating a murder.
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder.
It's actually very fun and easy. Yeah, you're right. It's almost impossible. I'm 91% sure I'm there. I have no idea. You want to help me solve it by telling me who did it?
Of course, Policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out. Easier that way.
He didn't do it. It's the truth.
I didn't know what's behind these gates. I'm exploring.
My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range awaits.
The gates around the roundabouts are glint of longing. Does mean you can let me through the gate?
I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
If it's all so simple, why don't the strikebreakers just go up the stairs?
That's simple. I just walk in?
Aye. Walk right past Measurehead and go in.
That's Measurehead?
Yeah, the 2.5 meter tall Semini supremacist there. Walk right past him.
Right.
Then press the button to unlock the door.
Uh-huh.
Then go past him again.
Okay.
And you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
So you're saying it's actually quite difficult?
Don't worry, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. For example, you could best Measurehead in a physical confrontation.
Definitely not happening, but I guess that's where the physical character comes in.
Or you could convert to a Semini supremacist worldview. Or... maybe it actually is completely impossible.
You'll never bested him in physical confrontation?
Not yet, no. He's incredibly strong.
Hasn't his scabs tried converting to his worldview?
Jean-Luc himself would say the philosophy has proven overly heroic for the scabs to convert to. Not enough intuition.
Got it. Another thing.
Sure.
Let's just try to buck anyway.
You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike too. Just can't break the command structure and tell you now.
Let's talk. Gotta get moving. Ah, he seems cool. Alright, time to talk to the person downstairs, and then I guess we're, hello? What the hell are you doing? Okay. That was weird. It didn't let me walk downstairs. Yeah. Gonna talk to the big guy here. I guess he's the main dude, man, bro.
Bastards! We have a right to work!
The man yells towards the harbor gates. His voice is loudest in the lot and oddly screechy for the man inside. What's going on here?
Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
The broad-shouldered alpha male turns to you. He's full head taller than everyone else here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
Why should I?
We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes.
Okay, then I'm thinking no.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here. Right to work! Right to work! Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence.
What kind of cause are we talking about?
Rights of people. Rights of workers. To have gainful employment. To make a salary. And feed their families.
His manner of speaking is wooden. The tone of voice bland and uninspired. Almost as if compiling replies from a set of learned phrases.
I don't think I've chosen any sides yet. Regardless, I have some questions for you.
Maybe you should ask them the questions. Like, why we're not allowed to make a living here. Shame on you! We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
Points to the finger at the man sitting on the railing.
So do we, Scott.
Lording man hollers in return. I want to get into the harbor too.
Have fun.
He snorts.
Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet their fat boss.
I'm interviewing people about the murder that took place here behind the hostile cafeteria here, there.
I know nothing about a murder.
He replies in snappy tears. Absolutely nothing.
Wouldn't put it past these harbor bugs. They'd do anything to stay alive. Right to work! It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
That really isn't my area of expertise.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity.
Turn around the bell.
Us work!
What is a strike?
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, decide to block honest work from other people.
He shifts uncomfortably in his work overalls. What do the strikers want?
Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we have the right to work!
There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks vaguely mismatched. The different pieces of the attire seem ill-fitting.
Ill-fitting? What does that mean?
His shirt is far too small and an unpleasantly tight fit, while the overalls, held up by a belt, seem to fit a man with much more corpulence.
You wearing new clothes?
He ignores your question, choosing instead to turn to the emaciated workers, raising both fists in the air.
Oh, this man's
the clothes
not...
are obviously not his. Silence is the answer. There's something off here, but he won't say what.
Where are all these strike breakers? Looks right.
Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests.
Man runs hands through steadily graying military haircut.
We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do!
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
Okay, I gotta ask, where exactly are you from?
What's it to you?
Deep set suspicion drips from every syllabus. Curiosity, trying to figure out the strike mess. Routine, part of the investigation.
Am I a suspect?
His eyes
Done no
narrow.
crimes. I only fight for the rights of people.
Every once in a while, it's like you can see glimpses of another guy under the guise of this fighter for jobs. He seems a more brutal, cunning, and suspicious person. Just a hunch. Or you just might be paranoid.
Already got that. I'm interested in your
We're all
background.
workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill.
Bouncer. I freaking a lot of bars. Maybe it's one I know.
Worked at Territorium. Ring a bell?
Yeah, I think I've been there.
Uh-huh. It was a long time ago.
Let's quickly listen. She's talking with you. Exactly the goal here.
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
Okay, definitely didn't say working the way you're supposed to, but alright. Are you unable to... Okay, want to discuss something else?
The physically impressive man tower has turned his attention back to the gates. He ignores your...
Just gonna leave now. Interesting. So, he's definitely an honest man. Very trustworthy. What the hell is this? Lure is probably storage fuel here and every now and then. And people just leave money on the ground. Da-da! Foreign card kept in good condition. A wife beater? Okay. Boy. Hell driver.
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face. The photo, an ambrotype from the turn of the century, as golden as her smile.
Excuse me, I'd like to ask some questions.
No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Snap your fingers in front of your face. Wait,
Wait,
your son.
she's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone.
What?
Why? I just told you why.
Yeah, you said so. Okay. Well, they're having fun.
A Stars Ryko, one of the finest Zhimsk-made motor carriages ever. An oldie, but a goldie.
Who drives these?
Not many people outside of Grad, and Revachol West too, it appears.
Hey, Kim, check this out.
Stash Ryko KK2. That's a classic model.
Oh, he knows his cars.
Never thought I'd see another one repainted after what happened last time.
Hold on. You're not gonna impress him. Do I know what happened last time?
No, only that the motor carriage is typically baby blue, the colors of Sigismund the Great, an ancient Zhimsk ruler. His banners were famously zephyr and white, the colors of the Stars Ryko.
I guess what happened last time, Kim. Blue and white are the colors. What happened last time?
An
Kim?
old case for my precinct. A couple of Zhimsk migrants saw a Stash Ryko stopped in the street, painted just like this, muddy brown. Murdered the driver on the spot. They said it was an honor killing, Hussar style. The Zhimsk community protested the trial, flying the banners of some old king or whatever. 5,000 came to protest.
Correction, 4,395. The fourth largest public protest of a criminal trial in Revachol.
I hate to correct you, Kim, but only 4,395. What I'm not gonna be that big of a dick. Who are you?
People we are paid to protect. Let's leave it at that.
What they sentence the killer to?
4 years for murder in Reunion.
Really? 4 years?
The perps were remorseful. They're sorry, knocked 8 years off the sentence. That's the system.
Only 12 years for murder?
The
Yikes.
prisons in the greater Revachol industrial harbor are already full. Prisoners are expensive to maintain. The longer the sentence, the larger the cost.
You think our guy could have been
I
the...
try to avoid drawing far-gone conclusions like this before actually examining the body. But my initial guess is the two are unrelated.
Interesting. Before we proceed, I've gotten an opinion on this paint
Yes,
job.
detective?
I think it's better brown and black.
Okay. I'm not going to honor kill anyone over this. But I've seen it blue and white. It's much better that way.
Oh, what's in there?
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine.
Knocked out my mic again like an idiot. Hello! Sorry about that. Lori stuck in the traffic jam. They have a rat. Open the window.
The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings, stickers, insignia.
What kind of stickers and
The
insignia?
driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and purity are glued to various panels. A large metal pendant hangs from the rear view mirror. The pendant features a sun crown with wavy rays. It is a seal of Royalist era Revachol.
What the back
The
seat?
back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels sewn into the curtains. A book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover features a large, muscular man. The title reads, Man from Eelmdal in the Lost City of the Pygmies.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy.
That nods towards the racist lorry driver. Oh! You think the lorry belongs to our tough guy?
Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
There he is, in front of Rita, smoking nervously, hoping it's over. Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house, no matchbox, 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone. And so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here? And where's the dealer? You have to get back to work. That's all you have now.
Well, at least I found the home. Alright, interesting. Alright, let's go check the dead body, see if it's long enough. Otherwise I might have to wait a full day, which would suck. Man, Kuno, you can really go at it.
There.
Okay. Yeah, it'll take a while, I guess. Alright, I guess talk to the big guy. That'll be fun. Woo. Before we do that, actually, let's explore the general area we have now. Some great telluric force of correct pavement like an eggshell. Tectonic. Not telluric, what the fuck am I saying? HFAT, and it doesn't pump water anymore, there's a tree in it. Tire tracking leading onto the roof, the slush rain's almost washing them off. Spirited chirps and clicking swallows to fill the air.
Life doesn't need to be a struggle.
Covers his mouth to hide a burp.
I'll be with you in a moment, officer. Let me just finish my sandwich. Talk to Angry Hog René first.
Okay.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, alright?
The one's still chewing on his sandwich.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never.
Should I ask what the game is first?
No, you got this. There's the ball. You're the game.
And I coordination medium. Alright, 92%. Don't fuck it up. Ooh.
You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. No matter, you'll make it work.
Feel the
The
ball.
cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. It has a pattern on it, probably a sponsored ball. Yours would only be covered with bumps of learning and scars of victory. Already your muscles are adjusting to the weight, the nervous system calibrated, until you and the ball have merged into a single entity. The man ball is ready.
Taking the surroundings.
A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, even the wind, everything fades until the only thing left is the union of man and ball.
Here's time for a last glance inward. Who am I?
An embodiment of pure motion. A fine-tuned locomotor running at maximum efficiency.
The inertia can be contained no more than a bullet leaving a gun. Let go. Be the bullet. Continue.
Merde! Bordel de merde!
A whorehouse of shit. It wasn't whorehouse of shit. The shot was at least 23 meters. Probably 24, and then some. Nothing to be embarrassed about.
What the hell is your problem?
Not a weak right tricep, that's for sure. Oh, I don't understand.
You vandalized our game, son.
Try to calm
Can't
himself.
flip a tonk with 5 bull.
Sorry, no, that's a mistake. Oh, I understand.
No, we are not good, goddammit. We want our bull back.
Take it easy, René. This is just a misunderstanding, isn't it, officer? No harm done.
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You owe us a goddamn bull.
Okay, I'll try to fix this.
Good. Mistakes are forgiven, but men at least try to right their wrongs. I believe you will try. Now, why did you approach us?
Yes, why did you come here? It's unlikely they know anything about the murder. You never know. He might know something. This is a good vantage point.
You know anything about that man hanging in the backyard of Whirling and Rags?
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely.
And most of the locals?
In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame them?
Why don't you have a problem with the cops?
Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets.
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
So again, you don't know anything?
If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I'm an old man, not a coward. The daily business of the riffraff no longer concerns me.
'Tis true, sire. He knows nothing.
You seem to be playing in a crater.
Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game.
Do you know what created it?
I do. Fire from heavy artillery.
Okay, it's a crater left by artillery fire, but why?
Why what?
I'll
Because
do
that's
these.
what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home.
Wait, who are the Communards again?
Commies, communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose the name to feel special. Senseless sentimentality.
Did you use artillery fire against them?
Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we got licked.
He had squeezing bull in his fist.
Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't so, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough.
What the hell?
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
I shelled him here in Martinez.
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first.
We did?
Yes. The military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol. Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta.
He points to the northeast. That's ball. Sounds grim.
This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we plagued Betonk on their mangled corpses.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
Hold up. The coalition?
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs, but the enemy of my enemy and all that. They're the lesser evil.
So everything's so bombed out?
Damn right, son. They laid the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it. And it worked, too.
The strange gleam in his eyes.
The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course they still hold influence.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players of the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think?
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
That's how it should be. Self-socialists paving the way for the hard working class to take over. Foreign powers cleaned up our mess, and now they rose. Shake your head and Jim. Coalition seems quite capable, actually. Commies don't understand how money works. Nothing. I don't think I just do. Having someone foreign kind of ruling, you know, your own country's a bit yakers.
I'm sorry it had to be them. After 8 years of fighting those hyenas, boiling cats for food and drinking piss in the mountains, I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned to Revachol, or even if that damn clan Frisell had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case. Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere. Foreign influence peddling garbage and stupid music on the radio. This is just what the commies wanted. This was the plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with.
How does the third factor into this point towards the monument?
It doesn't. That was 100 years ago. It got nothing to do with anything.
Who's this Frisell?
Damn Frisell. He was the king we couldn't protect. The Carabineers failed him, and the crown. He died in the hands of the Hyperlay, in a very public execution.
He slouches as he says that. It makes him smaller, admitting they left the king to the mob.
Mention Guillemets.
A true king in both blood and mind led Revachol before Frisell. He would have been better, but the damn commies drove him into exile.
Some manner of self-deceit is present in his thinking. Sounds like this Guillaume abandoned him, and he doesn't want to admit it.
What exactly is this tourism?
The suzerain is the king! Has everyone forgotten already? They forgotten already. It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
Oh, the statue flips. Composure. I'll come back to that later. Actually, I want to hear. Saw the statue of Philip III near the roundabout.
Ah, yes. King Philip III on his steed. A reminder of what Revachol once was.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold.
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who knows how to rule.
I should a true king rule.
Decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood.
Seems to me a leader should take care of his people before himself.
A nation is only as strong as its leader. That's why it was such madness to try to...
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
There was some weariness in his voice now, but we heard rants many times before.
The Carabineer doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates unbreakable resolve.
What was that about cocaine?
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple-nosed candy the nobility loved so much. A cocaine connoisseur of sorts. His egocentricity is borderline legendary.
You can't even take the responsibility for yourself. How could you fathom the responsibility weighing on the shoulders of a ruler?
Yes, obviously annoyed.
That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine. For clarity of vision. To aid in their work. Regnum cocainum. Revachol's finest years.
Seemed to grow taller. He seemed to grow taller and burn with the pride about the past.
Of course. Clarity of vision. Awareness.
Philippe III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court medic administered a dose to his mother when she was in labor, and it is well known that with the help of cocaine, only the purest, of course, he was able to connect with higher realms.
He's just making excuses for the king's habits, isn't he?
Guess responsibility requires a boost every now and then. Sometimes I need one too. Seems like irresponsible behavior from right now. Other users shouldn't even operate heavy machinery, much less. Thanks for clearing that up. I have some other questions now.
I'm listening.
So what's on us?
Right.
Thanks for your time. Been upgraded here. Book and rolls pistol in half, naked dame on his cover. On the cover stands a very muscular man surrounded by flames. Book about Hate. This book really don't understand what it's about, nor does it seem important. It's a book about Boydera culture, and it promotes freedom and roaming upstream. A book about the future. Government reads your mind using radio technology. Annette.
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open.
A girl with chubby red cheeks waves to you, smiling. Her nose is also red from the cold. Hello.
Are you interested in a new and exciting book?
She stomps her feet to feel warmer. What kind of store is this anyway?
It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Books? Postcards? Easy. Even a kid would know all of this.
Little girl, I know what a book is. Books are like very long letters with stories inside them.
Yes, that's exactly it.
That's not what a postcard is. It's small cardboard pictures that that you can send to a friend or a loved one. Alright, that was enough. I proved myself.
If you say so, sir. Can I help you with anything else?
Is it okay if I ask some questions?
Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books.
What's your name?
My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside, minding the register, or organising the stock.
The girl gazes out the window, and suddenly jolts her eyes wide, as if recalling something.
Feel free to step in and browse our wares.
And you're standing out here when it's cold because...
I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
Should I have a word with the store owner, maybe?
Oh, no, sir. I'm happy to help Mum by luring in customers. Besides, I have some hot juice in my vacuum bottle to keep warm.
Can you be at school or something?
I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
Isn't going to school more important than this?
Mum says it's necessary to do both, because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed.
There is stress and unease behind these words. She's reciting etiquette.
How's the business going?
Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Cursed? In what way?
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go...
bankrupt?
Exactly. But we've been doing fine so far.
I don't think curses are real.
They shouldn't be, but they seem real. Anyhow, they say that these grounds are doomed for businesses.
It's just a regular trading and selling things, child. It doesn't work out for most people. Not doomed, but your mother should learn from their mistakes.
Of course, sir.
She doesn't know what else to say. What is this crime business?
Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Why would anyone want to read about crime? Okay, I get it. Crime, murder gets the people going.
And it's kind of like a puzzle too. You can guess who the criminal is, or how the good guys are going to catch him.
I'm a policeman myself, by the way.
You don't look much like a policeman.
She examines his ass. Finds something policeman-like. Yeah, well, what does a cop look like then? Maybe not a policeman, or should I stop being one?
Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen.
Hey. She points at a book cover, which is strapping Vesperate officer is standing grimly over the book of a dead woman. Used to be exactly like that Mullen guy. And I decided to live a little. You know, nobody actually looks like that guy in the picture. That's just a stupid fantasy of a man. Not your butt. It's not your butt that's important in police work anyway. It's yours. Points to your head.
Head? Yes.
No, your mind. Not head, child. Heads.
Flexibility. There's millions of different people out there, and you have to get into their heads. Sometimes you got to be the killer to catch the killer. Quicksilver mind. The Mullen guy looks like he needs 4 hours just to come up with a single idea.
Isn't that very dangerous?
Policemen live and breathe danger, little girl. Mullen obviously lacks chameleonic skill.
Unlike you, sir. He's just a fictional character. He's no match for you. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books.
Cover seems to stare at you instead with harsh disapproval. Oh no. See, 83 seems really high, but I failed them before, so... okay.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
Hey, why do you keep your hands folded?
What do you mean, sir?
You don't need to be worried. I'm here to help.
She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded in front of her. She doesn't want to show them. The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest.
It's okay.
She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed, nearly chewed down to the flesh.
Ugh. You bite your nails?
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded?
She gives a suspicious glance. Yes.
Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
Her eye flashes with defiance. She's not impressed. Want more? I bet I can figure out why you bit your nails. Got a few reasons of mine.
She nods, half provocative.
You're uptight because your mother and the pressure she's putting on you. Rats have been nibbling on your fingers. Child labor is in dismal working conditions. Chewed on nails means you're recycling the body material. It's intense dedication to the way of the business, and there's no riches without personal sacrifice. Yeah, that one.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't.
By the way, another ace deduction by the number one detective in town.
It was okay, sir.
She'll get her rebellious streak.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
You think so? Fine. Do better. To do something about me.
You're quite sober.
She snaps back quickly.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
And I'm having a grand time.
I sure hope you are, sir.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you.
Lieutenant
the whole
sucks my balls.
situation
He does not.
Suddenly feels familiar. Somehow, there's something you're missing.
Not happening. Release came in the chat just say some stupid balls joke. What's romance?
It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man. Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir.
Or a poor man getting a rich lady.
It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Or should actually be rich himself, but has lost his family property unjustly, like during the revolution or something. Those are unhappy books, for most of the pages. People sad about what they have lost, but then it all turns out just fine in the end.
What about when both men are bad?
These are not very common. You can't have a choice between bad and bad. Nobody wants to read a story like that.
What if it's written really well?
Well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either, because she doesn't need a bad man. Yes, that would be interesting.
What about when everyone's poor?
That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life.
Sometimes you have to write about real life things.
Not in romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in the end.
What if a book with a man and lady business doesn't work out at all?
I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum.
Yeah, I think she has... Yeah, you think she has one about an excruciatingly painful breakup?
I don't think it's a romance story if the main characters break up, though.
She was trying to figure out the appropriate answer. No, I think it's... Think about it. One where they plunge into a torrid spiral of pain and risk... Only when it's really long and drawn out. Scarred for life. Phantom limb.
No, I don't know.
She looks like you with puzzlement. Doesn't ring a bell? Alright, I'll ask your mom.
Yes, she knows books. Definitely.
What was that? An idea for an unfinished novel stuck somewhere in your forebrain?
Suffering for me. I had other questions.
Maybe some about other books?
Or at least famous people.
Oh, kings and queens and generals of old, or artists and writers, or musicians, those kinds of people. There's usually something extraordinary about them.
Scratches her cold, reddened cheek, then continues.
I think that's why people read them, to find the secrets of their fame.
Seems like most people who read those books fail to get more famous from reading them.
Reading those don't really make readers more famous, does it?
But it does make the famous people more famous.
Smells good food. Fame sounds delicious. Maybe someone will write a book about me one day. Fame is about famous people. I have better things to do.
Okay, sir.
Okay, bye. See you around, Annette. Well, wasn't that fun? To Cape Side Apps Martinez Pier. To Roundabout North. The app reads broken windows. Tibbs have windows. Tibbs have windows. If you had a bag in your hands, perhaps you could collect these bottles and sell them. Hey! Good to know. Enormous bills worthy for a real man. This place is big. Is that a cat? No, it's a bird. Lonely cormorant, surveys the sea, indifferent to your approach. The belly of a boat shines. It was recently painted. Cape Side Apartments. Rudy St. Gilstein, Roundabout North. Inside the frame of the motorcycle under repair and the tools used to assemble it. There's a girl up there. Did she spills the paint? Wow. Okay. Well, maybe she wants to talk.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response. The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
This is the... No, wait. Who am I
Doesn't
speaking
matter
to?
who I am. Now go on, get out of here.
From within comes the faint sound of a broom sweeping across the concrete floor.
It's the place. Open up.
The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
But I'm not joking.
No. I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Shows awfully insensitive.
Backyard door? There must be another entrance to the east.
Tell her, policeman.
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
The lieutenant repeats dutifully.
There is no reply. Just faint, sweeping sounds inside.
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The girl stares at the sailboat by the pier.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
I don't know your name, little lady. No need to get defensive.
And here I was trying to be polite. Just can't win with you pigs.
Despite the sash, he puts the brush aside.
A brush? An artist? The red splatter is urban expressionism.
Keep looking off to the side. What are you looking at?
She nods disdainfully toward the woman performing maintenance on the boat docked next to the pier. Hatred? Disgust? It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features.
When the boat does not notice her staying.
The woman...
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Rivershore. Its moneyed residents, used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely have reason to visit Martinez.
Who is she?
Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing.
Oh, cool.
You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet.
Wacky it is.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to us on.
What are you doing to the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
She stares at the wall, suddenly pensive. So you don't know what to write?
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home, and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cats. And my name's not Mona, so...
Are you so committed to the face in the building?
This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, you know, summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation.
I have an opinion on this. Want to hear it?
Yeah?
I love public art. Don't mind us. Keep doing what you're doing. I don't have to stop you. This is hooligan. Actually, I don't have an opinion. I lied. I mean, this is like a... Well, I mean, do I care? Yeah, it's a hooligan.
Let's be realistic. What are you going to do? Climb up there?
I'm gonna have to stop you. This is hooliganism.
You heard your partner, Piggy. I'm unstoppable.
You know anything about the recent murder?
I ain't no snitch, Pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
Yeah, see you later, Sydney.
Watch your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
Lovely. Cool. How's this? What? Oh.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
I'll just leave it alone. Looks like there was construction here once a decade ago. Document reserved for residents of Rue de Saint Gilson. Your room is willing isn't much bigger than the shop. It's worth more than you'll ever earn in your life. Striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling at her approach.
A striking woman leans against the cabin
Speak faster!
Of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hands in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbor. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
She steps closer and holds out her hand over the railing. Joyce L. What does the L stand for?
Beaton, my maiden name.
Her bony hand dangles from the sleeve of her oversized coat. Shake her hand. Glad to see
you here.
Her grip is tight and cold.
Like steel. There is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will. Gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. This is a tactic. It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just wink at you?
How interesting.
She's trying to see you unfazed.
I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
She looks back under her feet, green and white cells. Not a lot of people on boats are there.
Of course there are.
Looks
We're
around.
on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Hey, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Technically, the neighboring Ozone and Fas a la Mer island groups are archipelagos, while La Caillou, by contrast, is a single fertile landmass, the fourth largest island in the world. It is not an archipelago.
Wait, I thought La Caillou was a big island.
Okay, if you want to get technical, the point is we're all on islands here, and sail is still the most expedient way to get from one island to another, especially when you're in a hurry to resolve a strike.
Still haven't seen anyone else sailing a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
How the fuck did she see him drive that damn car?
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich.
Yes, I do.
Before you do, it will be pertinent to ask other questions. Gather more info on this boat of hers.
Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
Okay, what kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
Okay, how do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
That was disgusting.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
No problem. You have a license for this boat.
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain. white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
Let's talk about the economics of this boat you're on.
Oh my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class?
Precisemundo. Class wartime, baby.
Detective, may I remind you that Mrs. Messier is a professional negotiator.
He doesn't look like he thinks that you'll best her in a single combat.
Then what does that say? Does it say docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A? 33A? This old proletarian haunt here. As I said, plenty of people drive boats, of all social strata.
Oh, 72, please work.
Your synapses flesh.
This house was built before the revolution. Funny, I don't see other eels.
You mean eel's hips. But point taken. I am a bourgeois woman, and this is my fast, light, interminably bourgeois boat.
Okay, I think I can handle a boat thing.
Good.
About White Pines, what do you do?
What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
So what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
Where are the other Indo-tribes?
Saint-Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
You're in good company, it seems.
Why, thank you.
She does not register the real meaning of the remark. How much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
Wow.
20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments.
A wave hits the sloop as grabs the mainstay for balance.
A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
Where's Wild Pines get all these billions?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lormentang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
Probably helps start out with a world monopoly. What does a huge system want with a place like this? Look around.
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
8% of all cargo in the world? I never did. You don't keep it moving, the workers do. The company's nothing without them.
There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen.
What can you tell me about the strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
Hey, what if I want to hear about trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
Octopus? I will slay it. How do I repeal it then?
Why? By throwing off half a century of foreign domination under the Coalition. Unfortunately for you, the Coalition also leases you the right to police West Revachol.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
What is your role in this precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
So the strike is connected to the lynching.
Yes, I believe there is a connection. But that's a subject for later.
Alright, Snarrow. Tell us more about this behemoth.
What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now.
How were the talks going before the lynching? Proceed.
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
How dare they want overtime and medical?
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
What happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it?
Pause to pose yourself.
Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Okay then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
What are the demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
I don't know what to think about that.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
That's pretty funny, I have to admit.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution.
What are you gonna do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
This scabs at the gate. Did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrog, come to plead for work where the Union refuses to?
Don't let her answer it herself.
Let's put them strike breakers. You put them there? Right?
If these strike breakers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Don't worry about the union boss, Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
If you were to prick him with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
You sound like you're about to take a rapier to him.
Oh, heavens no. We get along just fine. Yet, now that you mention it, I can't stop imagining that black treacle just dribbling down his double chin.
She stops and smells. Is it that bad? He can't be that bad.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Wait, there are two of them?
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself outside the Brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
She hesitates, looking for the right expression.
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
No fun.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother.
She turns to you.
And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
an effective advocate for the giant leech sucking the right of the... basically a socialist mob.
Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
One more thing, you said something happened in the elections?
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
What?
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
This forewoman.
Sorry.
Her name?
This forewoman, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence, Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the Union's files.
Eerie.
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a Union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
That's all I need. Let's change the topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
What can you tell me about this lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
She falls silent for the moment, contemplating something.
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi, from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
It's possible after a night of heavy drinking, I lost all my memory of my life in the world.
Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Ah.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
I'm gonna try. How do I negotiate my way out of this?
Feelings will guide the way.
But ma'am, I need to know about the lynching. It's very important to me in the case I'm solving.
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail.
This boat, for
above
example,
her.
and a home somewhere. I only have this case.
Officer.
The carbon fiber Hollow Creeks. I don't remember anything except this lynching. This is the only case.
You know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting it. Somehow.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible.
Like what?
The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbor. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Excuse me for a moment, madam. Madam?
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota.
What's that? Sounds like my stomach's growling. What's my lower intestine going on about?
Lower intestine? The term is metabolic and circulatory system.
Okay, but what's that hard stuff?
Fascism, Brota.
What is fascism, though?
Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you is the source of Revachol's problems?
Foreigners, financiers, leftists, academicians, liberals. I thought you were a circulatory system.
Quit stalling, Ruta. We're talking about the weakest, worst, most insane thing. The weak link. Yes, them. But also, women.
Women?
Women. Men of war. You don't like them. They're insane. Their idiocy needs to be scrubbed off this world with rubbing alcohol. Woo men need to go back to the fucking kitchen. That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main thing is that woo men need to know their place.
Am I having some kind of stomach seizure?
Stomach truth. You're having a stomach truth.
Why am I getting this?
Because you've said the hard things that others won't say. The good things, you've said them many times.
Fascism sounds bad, though. What if we call it something else, like a traditionalism? Okay, stomach, I've made up my mind about fascism. Proceed to traditional.
Okay, yes, let's call it that. Good thinking. That sounds much better. Traditionalism. You like the sound of that.
Okay, I've made up my mind about fascism.
You're going to keep your views, right? Keep your views, Brota.
What the fuck? So, okay, so I assume that if I go on with the hating of the women, the men of woo, that I'm gonna somehow fuck up some deal with the chick or something on the future. I don't know. Could be funny though, or whatever. It's absolutely not. I'm not gonna be played by an upset stomach. I'm definitely gonna have to do a second playthrough of like the charismatic guy that just goes through all the douchey routes, because honestly, that just sounds like a fucking treat. Okay, so, hold on, I'm actually gonna write that down. Oh. It probably won't be after this playthrough. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna stream it again, obviously, because I think it'll just be too funny not to. But I don't know when I'm going to. There we go. Alright, noted. So, yeah, come my second playthrough, I'm just gonna play the charismatic character instead of the intelligent one, like I've been, and I'm just gonna go through, like, every dickhead option, just to see, like, just where this goes, because I really want to know. Anyway, absolutely not. I'm not gonna be played by an upset stomach.
There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines, knocking on your alcohol-engorged liver. It is one of betrayal and disappointment.
I'm pretty sure that would have added to the mine. We are... Play slots. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Alrighty, so we have... that one, which is awful, and then the 15th into... Okay, so... Temporary research bonus, none. Research time. So... Well, what does this do? It just does nothing. Interesting. Why not, I guess. Alright. Oh, right. Yeah, he wishes to talk.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
How did you hope it would go?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and you know, not volunteer us to be her henchman.
Oh, so we're her henchman now?
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
Maybe this is all her plan. She might have heard about you.
Oh, they must have more ears on the ground. She could have known about my condition.
I wouldn't go that far. Her reaction did come off as sincere to me. I think she's just quick to adapt. She's a professional, after all.
Would you propose that we don't investigate the drug trafficking?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching.
We should just, find my badge?
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large, and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters.
Why did you know that?
The situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence.
You could request a new one from the station, but that would literally take months.
Ah, fun. Let's go back there then. Madam!
You're back. Good. What
You
can
seem
I help
smart. I need someone to give me the lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality?
Seems to pull her hood closer around her neck. By the way, I do have a suspicion that we are in limbo based on the very beginning lines of the game saying that rigor mortis, like I have a rigor mortis onset, whatever face, blah 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 description. Anyway, that's a death thing.
Yes, reality is your side case.
Hell of a side case.
An experimental side case.
I'm conducting a personal investigation in the world I'd find myself in. It's related to my medical episode. I'm having trouble remembering even the most basic terms. No time to explain. Just give me the lowdown. Personal investigation.
How truly curious. A sort of philosopher detective.
My theory is that the inquiry into the nature of reality will ultimately converge with our murder investigation. They're really one and the same.
Are they now?
A deep synthesis. I'll assist you however I can then. Go ahead. Ask.
Alright, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
And what is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Tell me more about Martinez.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. This place used to be a province, A workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
You mentioned a seed. What seed is this?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the Blue Immensities.
Forgot the name of the island.
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the river Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her, and to humanity at large.
Okay, that's Martinet. What's Revachol?
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of city is Revachol?
The great kind.
What makes Revachol great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
Okay, who built the city?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile-Marat, depending on your creed.
Okay. When was Revachol built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
And why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connected tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're in an unimportant part of an unimportant place. So we're pretty much at the center of the world. So we're on the basically nobodies.
Oh, we're quite a way off. About...
No skyscrapers, right?
A collection of tall ghosts behind the water vapor. Light reflecting off their glass windows.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Silence.
What does it say?
She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Where are we?
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
This is one thought you will need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Madame Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
Alright, Lieutenant, I'll continue later.
It's better not to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. A thousandth of a second too late.
Too late for what?
for the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. What's the big time?
The revolution.
She says. Huh. And what is the revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Would you say it was a bunch of apes duking it out?
Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing, intra-species warfare.
And the apes were the evil?
No. I would say the apes were neutral.
Looks you. Their gaze sharp. Okay. Neutral.
On the other hand...
Turns north, the bombed out buildings lining the waterfront shiver slightly. Who got shot in the head?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists... they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
She likes the totality of it.
You could say they got totally shot. Did the communists not gonna shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
That's a tragedy.
Yes. The Red Deluge. The Insulindian Deluge, they call it.
Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposite side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Cowardly.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay, and by liberals, you mean?
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
Oh, the liberals win it all.
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, so you just said the liberals already took everything. Or the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
Not just technically, practically. For a moment, there was hope. I was always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell, yes I am. And also not. I don't think I'm a moralist. I don't know. I don't. Right now, I really don't think I am.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
Rooty tooty, pointy shooty.
Rooty tooty, pointy shooty.
That's the way of history.
Sorry, I was just writing to a text. Then what? Then was this kerfuffle? When was this kerfuffle? Sorry.
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
You started it.
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
What'd the Siras do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Not really.
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. Pandemic only provided the spark.
It was a funny time in history. They discovered transistors and rock music, but they didn't know anything about prions. Nobody did.
Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
What's the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia. The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened to the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-islary communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Wait, you're saying it's been like 43 years?
Time flies.
What have we been doing all this time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river level.
What have we been?
Offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
All that untaxed income must have fueled the new. That can only mean one thing.
That's when they discovered disco?
Yes. And quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. So, here we are.
She curtsies.
Welcome to reality, baby.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
Which side of Wild Pines Group are you on?
They picked the winning side. That's why they're here, and others are not.
They chose wisely.
Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the Pines to doom.
You would have sided with the king?
I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, you might have too. Perhaps it's better I was born when I was. 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial. So I suppose I would have been in good company.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
Ask you. Who are you in all this?
And I asked you, past-less detective of the citizens' militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Would have sought medical. Would have positioned myself very precisely. I would have made it out with the mineral right. I would have. I don't know.
And you would have died, most likely. Not far from here. Maybe even right here. during the beachhead, defending the coast the day the Coalition took the city.
No way I would have fought with the communards.
Then you would have died fighting against them. Long before the beachhead, our time is a shadow cast by that day.
That's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is.
I want to
She
know what
owes you an answer.
you are.
Hmm.
She hums.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor, a devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine.
Dios mío. A liberal! Cool. I liberate pretty hard myself. I don't understand. I'm so vile about that. Wait, what's an ultra?
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind.
This is fun. I'm so vile about that.
Haven't you heard?
She nods.
I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. One of those who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. We surrendered the nation to financial colonists. No sane person identifies as an ultra anymore. Not in broad daylight. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, are you repulsed?
In her green eyes you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
I don't care.
A fitting punishment.
She
Be
smirks.
forgotten, if not forgiven. Save a prayer for us in our chateaus on Ozon and in Stella Maris. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it.
You're a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
Lieutenant puts down his notes and gives her a look. You have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
What is this? Spread your hands.
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Keep guessing.
Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea.
Are you saying I'm ruined?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
What is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot.
Or two.
Or two. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveau. They're old.
She looks up at the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
You lived in.
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, a red paintbrush held to her throat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
Wonderful.
What is that? Points Cindy.
The girl in the old lady rags?
Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I cannot explain the same thing but to a child. I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. All right. What next?
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
I think I may be part of the infraculture.
And what would that be?
Disco.
I can see that, yes. I dabbled in those dark arts myself, not so long ago. I assure you, it was a thoroughly supracultural phenomenon. All permeating. Downright mandatory. Nothing infra about disco, baby.
Your disco?
Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more of a new girl. Disco was a minor, but still enjoyable facet of the whole thing for me.
The new?
The new. A cultural era. And the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It came out of post-revolutionary Revachol. It was ultra-liberal. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne-colored everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now.
Cheers are A right here. Sounds fun. I can't remember a single thing. Doesn't sound like anything I'd be into. I'm straight edge. Got it. Sounds fun.
Wasn't it Guillaume Le Million who said, if you can remember the new, you weren't there?
Mate, good on Le Million? I was just thinking about that guy. Whatever happened to him?
Ah, yes. This is not very central to reality, is it?
Still want to know.
I can't be 100% sure, but I believe he died due to complications from venereal disease.
Which one?
All of them.
Just saying he didn't vanish in a puff of stardust?
I'm afraid no. But then again, one can't be entirely sure. It's all part of his mystique. Ask someone else and you may get a more champagne-colored take. Anyway, what other basic facets of reality should we discuss?
That's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
You seem rich. Can I have some money now? Okay, tell me about this alleged drug trafficking.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Let me get this straight. The material comes from Samaria Revachol through the terminal?
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
And he wants to investigate.
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Lorries?
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they're vulnerable.
How convenient that they're stranded like beached whales at that roundabout.
Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
She gives you a knowing look.
Her irises are light green, like
and
the river Esperance.
It's the racist guy.
Bright daylight, upstream where it's clearer.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them.
Why didn't you come to RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
Well, it's no coincidence lorries are stranded like this, is it?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
What's the proof that the Union's involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, The contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
So you think Chuck began funded with source ingredients for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely. Then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
We're already suspicious of one of the drivers who was present at the lynching.
The two might even be connected.
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done.
Okay, made up my mind about the smuggling.
Yes?
I'll take care of it.
Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something.
I know 2.
It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
She takes another long sip from her seemingly bottomless thermal cup. Thank you, that's all for now.
Of course, Detective. Take care.
Ooh, got a bunch of stuff there. Alright, nice. Apparently I leveled up a bit. Alright. I actually don't know how many points I have. Anyway. I think uppointing this would be good. Alright, nice. So 2 level ups. Ah. Hmm. How do I unlock more of these? So I can actually end up forgetting stuff. Interesting. So I know where my home is. Interesting. Definitely a quick save. Yeah, so I'm gonna go back and grab that boil thing.
Whoa. What have we here? A bridge with loose nails and rot-infested wood that creaks in the wind. A construction code violation if there ever was one.
Damn, it looks like we got a construction code violation.
True. They never cleaned up the war damage. The rest of Revachol looks better, though.
But Lieutenant, think about the splinters.
The bridge is fine enough. Locals use it all the time, after all. It's nothing to worry about.
You just as
Shall we?
bosses. That's fun. Bag! You hear the distant squeal.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Poor little viewer.
The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Vandalism.
Probably some kids.
Lieutenant inspects the bridge
A
slot.
simple but clever solution to ruining a coin-operated viewer. It took ingenuity.
Look inside.
A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onuk written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards. That's Kuno on the lens. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast, studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know this to be the Star of Pericarnassus, or the Cairo. The central symbol of the Pericarnassian church, a star, a great moral height to be strived towards. Around the large wooden building you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach, and a small tent set up on the ice. This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside. Then use the focus knob to zoom in if necessary. Why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty?
What's a tourist attraction doing here?
There was a revitalization project in '49. A design studio tried restoring Martinez to its pre-war glory. It didn't stick.
What happened?
They got as far as the street lamps and the statue on that intersection. Then something went sour. I suspect that something was Evrard Claire, the union leader. He muscled them out. It's how it usually goes around here.
Girl, I dig organized crime. It's the best. Can we do something about it?
We should have done something about the union 10 years ago. That ship has sailed, officer.
Hey, wait. Give me the bottle. I can make money off this. I don't remember where, but I can make money.
Yes?
Oh yeah, I'm everywhere. It's the store. I'll come back to you guys in a little bit. I got money to make. Damage looks like it could have been caused by an earthquake. Short on money? Equip plastic back. Let bottom slow them free. That's what I just did. What an interesting little side thing to do. Just clean up litter. Make some money. It's not something you'd expect in a game. But I like it. I like it a lot. The world building's fantastic, honestly. Like, the amount of lore in here is palpable. Alright.
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
Insert your bottles.
Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now.
Fantastic. Alright. Wonder if I can mess with the body again. I'll try one more time.
There he still is.
Ugh. I haven't talked to you yet.
Kuno, the pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my shit out, I think. Looks like it's time for me to go, Kuno. Pig's come to take me in.
Just want to ask some questions.
I'm going away for a long, long time, Kuno. Going away for life.
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, pig?
Listen, child. The chorus made me puke twice. I'm wondering why you don't.
Stay away from me, pig. You don't want to see what happens when you corner me. I'll die before I squeal, pig.
What are those strange words you use, girl?
I come from the woods, good Davidu. You don't want to go there with me. You don't want to see what I've seen.
Don't be traumatizing her. Get the fuck out of here.
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Child. You there, behind the fence.
You don't want to fuck with me. I got my hands bloody. I'm not here, pig. You're not seeing this.
You can still see the top of her hat from behind the fence.
I'll die before I squeal.
Hey, child.
What's this kid shit? Fucking mind games. I'd rather die than squeal.
Get the fuck out of her face. You got done. Talk to me.
So it's a girl. Interesting.
I'll die before I squeal.
Child, converse with me.
Murder was the case they gave me.
She almost vanished behind the fence. Only on top of her hat remains. Go now.
Fuck does Kuno care?
I'll talk to the garden. She said not to listen to you.
Pig, do
Gonna
you
slap
have
the forehead.
any idea how fucking stupid that sounds? Kuno's cruising his bitch on the town, and the bitch comes back griefing to the Kuno. What is up with that?
Get the fuck out of here, fat ass. Those pants are too small for you.
The pants are totally okay. Don't listen to her. She's trying to give you body image problems.
Body. Body. What do you know?
Shit, What's your question?
Don't tell the pig shit, Kuno!
This is where you quickly ask him questions. Real cop questions. Like a cop.
Do you know who he was?
Kuno's fucking. Kuno uses the fucking for target practice.
He's trying to hide the fact that he doesn't know.
I meant who he was before he died.
Kuno knows what you meant. Kuno's not a snitch. That's all. Trying to make Kuno sing into the popo phone.
I got up there.
Probably climbed.
So you didn't say anything happened.
You heard Kuno. Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't in Revachol. Kuno wasn't regional.
Also, I accidentally skipped Kuno's first one. Probably climbed. Kuno was busy down the road when that shit went down. Okay.
I don't know. Some fucking
something.
Mesco, or I don't know. Some other place. Night City. Kuno was in fucking Night City.
There is no Night City anywhere. That sounds like the name of a city in some pulp science fiction novel.
It's a fictional city name. Night City doesn't exist.
Why you gotta be riding Kuno's ass? You haven't been where Kuno's been. You haven't been in Kuno's head. You wanna know where Kuno was? You wanna know what Kuno's been fucking up to?
Don't tell him that, Kuno! It's lame!
It's not fucking lame. Kuno's building Kuno's city. Night City. Rage City. The City of Rage. That's it. And it's not lame.
Lame!
That's the name of Kuno's city, bitch. Get the fuck off Kuno's back. This shit ain't about that.
It's impossible to deduce what it is about, at least for the moment. If it's important, it'll come up later. Focus on the case.
Have you seen anyone suspicious around?
Just a couple of pigs sniffing around in the dirt. That seems pretty fucking suspicious to Kuno.
Yeah, you tell the faggoty, Kuno!
Okay. More on that later. Right now, let's talk about something else.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost!
Thank you.
The fuck about? You're
get lost!
More questions about the crime scene?
The kingdom of Kuno? The fuck?
No.
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno doesn't.
Alright. I'm gonna talk to that mailbox and hopefully it gives me more morale. What the? Okay, that was weird. Wasn't able to move. Mailbox. My only joy.
The dented yellow mailbox. The box seems happy.
Oh. I only get one morale. That's unfortunate. No, stop. Ah, damn it. The book is titled Man from Heaven. Oh, yeah. That racist guy has that book, too. Or it's a poster. Oh. All right. Gift books and molten candy.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Hyundai somewhere.
Sir, keep telling me about these books. Look through the display of books.
Rows and rows of Hyundai men blur your vision. You make out some titles. Man from Hyundai and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Hyundai, Return to Hyundai. And the solipsistic Man from Hyundai and the Hyundai Man.
Good God, how many are there?
Maybe 100. Man from Heimdall and the sages at the end of the world. Man from Heimdall and the false god. Man from Heimdall and the scorched earth. Man from Heimdall, the Heimdall colonies. Man from Heimdall and the swamp beast. Man from Heimdall and the snow crabs.
Is that all?
Not even close. Man from Heimdall in hell. Man from Heimdall and the forest of slaves. Man from Heimdall under the lake. Man from Heimdall, Heimdall burning. There's even the Trial of Death, a pastoral combat game book set in the world of Heimdallaman, and so much more.
I'm going to leave this for later. I'm going to put like an extra point into it and then see if I can do it. Storekeep, tell me about the Muscle Man books.
Oh, Man from Heimdall. A very popular series of adventure novels. They're awfully immoral and violent books.
Right, it's so popular.
Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical things he encounters. They're bound to grab those with little imagination and nothing to do.
That's good. What should I start with? That sounds like something I'd be interested in.
At last, someone sensible. However, I still urge you to buy one. Can't judge a book by the cover, they say. If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Heimdallaman, the Man from Heimdall. It's supposed to be a good introduction to the series.
Should probably introduce myself to you first before I go through it.
Welcome
just so it
to
looks.
Crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. My name is Plaisance.
The clerk stands a great name. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to her first, just so it's not awkward, like it was with the one store where I talked to, like where I checked out everything, then I talked to her, and she's like, "Oh, welcome." So yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, hello.
Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
Before I go on, you seem to be well off enough. You can give me some money. I feel like we won't be an opportune moment to ask later. So, are you the owner of the store?
I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Her voice high-pitched, sounds familiar. I've talked to her before through the doorbell. Your daughter just wants something said. What if I want to buy a book?
Goodness, you were already doing good, browsing the shelves. Why'd you stop? Don't you feel compelled? Go, go, get back there. The books await you.
So what types of books do you have?
Everything is on the shelves. Take a look yourself. The
Sounds
shelves compel you, don't they?
Alright, I'll take a look.
She smiles and nods, seemingly relieved.
The girl outside mentioned that this place is cursed. Let's talk about it. Your daughter is the one standing outside of the store, right?
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post, doing her job like a proper girl?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful. Did you talk to her?
Yes.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
10. She's certainly very polite and helpful.
My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
The way you're handling her strikes me as wrong. I'm here to dismantle the free market and the boss chancellor. All this pressure has made her really anxious. You know, she's been chewing her nails.
God. I've told her not to do that. It's such a disgusting habit. She'll get over it. Anxiety is a part of life.
I don't think she can do anything about it.
She can, if she has enough willpower. This is what's called growing pains. Life isn't easy. Life doesn't give breaks.
Come on, ma'am. It's obvious she can't do anything about it. You are placing an unnecessary burden on a young child.
What you're doing is wrong. Even I know that, and I usually don't know anything.
She stands stiff and severe, silently fuming. 10 or so seconds pass without change. She's looking for one, but there simply aren't any good arguments for being an asshole.
Nice.
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite her inside and apologize. She must be freezing out there. There. I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called a dull mind. All this stress.
She stops, but her mouth keeps moving. Is this husband Annette's father?
Yes. My husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river. If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here. No matter. Soon we'll both be off for Grand Couronne.
Wait, Grand Couronne? What's that?
It's a proper place to live. One of the most peaceful neighborhoods east of Jamrock. You may know it for its massive housing projects. Most of the buildings are empty at the moment. It's a great opportunity to get ahead of the crowds. Better times ahead for sure.
Your husband's involved with the bookstore?
He made the initial investment. Since then, he's been what you might call a silent partner.
Super silent. Almost inaudibly so.
Is she an only child?
Yes, I'm afraid so. A real treat she is. It would be nice if she had... No, we couldn't have afforded more children, really. Not in this economy.
A glimmer of sadness blinks through the well-crafted exterior.
Why not?
We're quite busy people, you know, my husband and I. Quite busy. Children are a lot of work. You don't look like a father, so I don't expect you to understand. I'm sorry. I'm sure you do understand.
She told me she doesn't go to school anymore.
She's been too busy, helping me here. So she studied at home this trimester. This is a temporary solution, of course. I assure you, I of all people understand the importance of education. She will be back in school the moment the store takes off.
And hell freezes over? Never mind. It's not a good topic to get into.
Alright, add some else to mine.
The woman looks aloof. Her features much softer. Occasionally she glances at her daughter's silhouette.
Well, for now. Did I do a good thing?
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
What's behind the curtains?
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? The books are all you care about.
She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you, urging you to buy more books. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become. You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside,
trying to be a witch?
disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. This is a traditional Seminese ward, meant to provide protection against ill luck, bad dreams, curses, and other supernatural scourges.
And who are these Seminese?
Inhabitants of Ile de Fantôme, the Seminine Islands down south. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before you.
12 milligrams.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
Her hands are closed around the pen and her fingers are nervously playing with the talisman.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
This is about the curse, that's why you're afraid.
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains.
This is... He's almost begging. This is different. I'm a police officer and I need to get in there. But since the place is calling for me, I must investigate beyond the threshold.
Why? It's not like anyone was killed there.
She stops abruptly as her hand flies over her mouth, baffled by her own bluntness.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
The curtains do seem frail, suddenly. Not robust enough to contain its slippery darkness.
But this place must be beyond.
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
You stop me, I'll open them.
No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here And let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if...
Ugh. Alright.
Hello again, esteemed officer.
Why are you so excited about those curtains? I just want to know what's on the other side.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go and buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
She recites it like it's a poem, or like she's playing a role she's grown tired of. She's so tense, it's a miracle she hasn't snapped in half.
Are you still talking about the books like you're trying to put a spell on me?
A spell? As if. This place doesn't need any spells or hoodoo mumbo-jumbo. This place has wonderful energy. Okay, fine. It's just because this place is cursed, just like everyone said. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
She closes her eyes, starts mumbling something in the
Host of hosts, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the curtains.
How does this curse manifest itself?
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation.
A shiver runs through the woman as she looks through the dim of the door.
It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
Okay, I'm a little confused. What does that mean?
Everyone knows that all the previous companies in this building have sooner or later declared bankruptcy, and their malicious spirits are still here, feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Have you sought help from anyone?
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists, and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards.
She notes the strange cage-like on the curtains.
The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building, even though now I fear it's not enough.
Why didn't you just tell me right away it was a curse?
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Wow. Void raves. You have new words.
Is your pendant of the wards as well? For the necklace?
Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
Desert pygmy shamans. That sounds like a rather questionable way to describe a group of people.
Would you like me to take the case? I can investigate and see if the curse is real.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
My liege, you know what this case calls for? A para-detective.
Convince her to let her investigate the Doom commercial area.
Slither up
Nice.
to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy looks like.
Wait, what if I don't want to lie? Ma'am, I came here to help. I've handled paranatural situations before.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
I returned from the void, a paradetective from a long line of paradetectives.
You're no paradetective. You look nothing like one. And you're clearly a drinker. Pardon me for being so blunt, but...
You look like one. The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook.
I admit, I've had my fair share of drinks, but only because the spectral realm is parapsychologically taxing.
How do you know all this?
Here we go.
Your wards brought me here in the first place. Simonese blood also runs through me. I'm a void revenant. I have the powers to debad all the bad energies.
I should have realized. A pattern lies within the fabric. The hand of fate guides us. Our meeting couldn't have been mere chance. But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
No problem whatsoever. Your family's safe. The phantoms are no match for me. Just ask my partner Kim. He'll vouch for me.
Oh,
Lieutenant Mills in his community is not the most close enough, but you put him on the
certainly
spot.
so, man. I can assure you my partner is eminent in this particular field.
If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
A hand on your heart. On my honor.
Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity.
Oh, from Dead by Daylight?
Do
Anyway.
not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Of course, the entity.
You have? The entity takes the form of a woman. A witch, probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
Chimney. Passage between heaven and hell, of course.
Yes. That chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Oh,
take it.
And
sorry.
Please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
What you discover? Probably just some office space. Don't be scared.
Got a few more questions about this curse.
Okay, but please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to disturb the spirits.
Never mind, I had other questions.
The woman looks aloof.
Leave. Well, okay, that... Oh, autosave, nice. Alright, I'm gonna read the rest of the bookshelves and whatnot, then... Oh, at least in the bottom
small
part.
mountain of colourful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise. An endless variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Catawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag. Books in a board game section? Who wants to read books?
Anything that really catches
There's
my
a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel notes, a fantastique adventure board game, new maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real. That price is steep, but then it's the 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplement, so it makes sense.
Storky, what board games do you have here?
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those interested in geography. Browbritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children.
Wait a minute. We would want to have children with me.
Don't be so hard on yourself, sir. You just need to clean up a bit. And technically, friends are a bit like family.
She fiddles her bed night.
For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 real.
So are these rail things?
Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, who are into those kind of things. Personally, I don't like it. Not at all.
Crazy. We're playing a role-playing game at all, Anyway.
I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Highly immoral stuff. You can still buy them, though.
She looks at the table, crossing her arms. Leave. Alright. I think this is a good spot to end it for today. A lot of reading. A lot of, you know, just mostly just a lot of lore going on. Still genuinely having a shit ton of fun. It's very simple, but I love this type of stuff. This is right up my alley. This game's really cool. I'm definitely gonna have to do a second playthrough to just be a talkative dickhead. I think that'll just be so much fun. I picked the logic side right now just because I want to get as much lore in as possible so I understand everything just right off the bat. But no, this is great. I'm having a good time. I'm sorry to those who find this boring as shit. Apologies. You're wrong, but you know you're entitled to your wrong opinions. But yeah, I'll do my best to stream tomorrow between 7 and 10 again. I'm gonna do my best to stream daily because I actually do want to play this game as much as possible. And obviously, for me to play it, I have to stream it, so you know you guys can see it. Yeah, expect me to be a little more active for the coming however the hell long this game is. But until tomorrow, I'll see you.